Sometimes it feels like this place is futuristic. You know that image that people share where there's almost a utopia and you see flying cars everywhere? Well, sometimes I feel like it's here. And part of my theory is that it is because Korea is a really small place. Now, I don't buy that you need to have a small country in order to have good railway system and public transportation. China is a very big country and they have very good high-speed rails. But what I've noticed about Korea is that because there's such a competition for space, it being a small mountainous country, that things grow up rather than across. And what I mean by that is if you take a look at the United States when you're driving down, you see a lot of roads, you see a lot of parking lots because it's very easy to build across. We have a lot of space. Here, because they don't have a lot of space, they do two things. One, they make the quality of things better, and you can see that everywhere. Like when you go to a traffic intersection, people are looking at their phones, and then they'll have like green lights on the sidewalk to indicate when it's good to cross. That small piece of technology just goes to show that like they don't have as much space, so they pack more space into it. And that goes for every little thing, like every shop is extremely efficient with their space, technologically like is really cool. Like I'm still shocked at one time I had to park my car and I drove it up to a building, and they have elevators for cars. So you drive your car into like this almost like elevator, give your keys to the person running it, and they pull a lever and the car goes up into a building and it stacks it almost like a bookshelf. We don't really have that because we don't really need it. We have plenty of space for just a parking lot. But what that does mean is that there's a lot of cool innovations that come from having a lack of space because, necessity is the mother of all invention. Another thing I've noticed about Korea, and I think is prevalent in cities like Singapore too, where there isn't a lot of space, is verticality. A lot more things are vertical here. It's quite common to live in a um, apartment complex, whereas if you lived in a high rise, you would have to be a very wealthy person, especially if you were living in somewhere like New York City. Yes.